It's certainly going to be in the hundreds of thousands, and the reason I say that is because the statistics show that 25,000 people die in the winter period over and above what you would expect if you look across sort of mortality rates across the whole of the year, and there are 7 million people who have to spend more than 10% of their income on fuel, and that's the definition of people who are living in fuel poverty. So somewhere between that 25,000 and 7 million, you have got a whole range of people who are suffering in different ways.
But the really shocking aspect of this is that you actually believe that some people will die because they cannot afford to heat their homes properly.
Well, that's absolutely the case. That's Office for National Statistics numbers that show that is the case. It's not that people are actually in their homes sort of dying of hypothermia. What it is, as the cold weather hits, particularly if you're older and circulation isn't that great, there's a higher likelihood that people have strokes or heart attacks. People obviously get the normal winter bugs. And if people go out less, which is the case if you're older, then you don't seek help, people don't notice that you're getting ill, and it's a consequence of a whole range of issues like that leads to those 25,000 deaths. But people do die in winter because they are cold and they are isolated.
Now, how will the Surviving Winter appeal actually help?
Well, across the country, there are thousands of community-based charities that are day in, day out reaching out to older, vulnerable people. And the money that we raise through the Surviving Winter is directed straight to those organisations who will be able to help more people. So that means more people with grants to help them heat their homes. It means more people being invited to join lunch clubs, sort of Meals on Wheels, that kind of thing. So it's a whole range of things, but it's in that way.
So it's more of a coordination of existing charitable organisations that already help the elderly?
Yes, so they're able to do more. That's which is why it's a very efficient and effective way of doing it.
But some people will ask, why does this fall to charities? Is this not something that social services or indeed the government should be addressing by simply making people's fuel allowances larger or checking up that people do have what they need to get through the winter?
And that would be a very legitimate argument. I think, though, it is the case that in this country, as indeed in many others, it is good sometimes to allow people to give to help others, and that's essentially what this campaign does, which isn't at all to say that government shouldn't be concerned about people who can't afford to heat their homes. They absolutely should. But equally, people who've got the resources to help others, should be allowed to do so, which is what this campaign does.
Do you think that the general public, if such a thing exists, are sufficiently aware of how difficult life is for the elderly on a limited budget?
I think the answer to that is probably not. No, I have no evidence to demonstrate that is the case. I suppose the only evidence that I do have is that we had tens and tens of thousands of people who gave for the first time through this campaign last year. Last year was the first time we ran it on a national basis, and those are people, presumably, who before the campaign hit last year were unaware of the extent to which people are afraid to put their fires on and are getting ill in their homes. So I do agree with you.